Hello, everyone. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for June 3rd through 9th, so the first full week of June. So I'm excited to see what we have in store for us. If you guys haven't checked out the monthly reading, please go ahead and do so. And what else, guys? You know the drill. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share this video if you know anybody that might benefit from hearing the energies, what the energies for the week are, hearing this reading. Please send it to them. Comments down below. Any questions, comments, feedback, just always be kind. That's all I ask. Okay. All right, guys, let's just jump right into it because we know these videos can get kind of long. Okay, same 4 decks shuffled, obviously, but I'm pretty sure it's a different order. But let's jump in. Need. Higher power. Okay, right off the bat. Okay, so this is basically saying, how many times can I say Sorry, guys. Okay, so, again, higher power. Okay, so this means connecting to a higher power. We haven't had, maybe I'm a little tongue-tied because we haven't actually had a card like this in a while. Not that I can recall. Usually in one of these, in one of the readings, we get a card that really says connect back to spiritual practices. Really, you need to really connect back to spirit. I don't think it's happened in need, in the need slot up there in a while. But basically, this is making us pay attention, right? Anytime maybe it's under important or responsibilities or even need, it's really something that we need to be paying attention to. So this is about connecting to a higher power. This could also mean connecting to higher self, right? And then we also have that 4 that keeps jumping out to me, okay? I've talked about the 4 before. That vibration runs on foundation, okay? So we need to have a spiritual practice and need to be spiritually connected in order to continue to build whatever we are building as far as a foundation. So if we're building anything new, if we're starting anything new, if we're starting fresh, we really need to refresh our spiritual connection in some type of way. You can do that any way you want. Oracle cards, meditation, walking in nature, deep breathing, going to temple, if you're religious, going to church, etc., etc. So, any way that you can connect to that, it would be very beneficial for building a foundation. Okay, let's keep going and see if we get any more clues about that, or if maybe it shows up again. You have another spiritual card. Okay, detective, shadow, attributes, voyeurism, falsifying information. Okay, this is really, okay. The energy that's coming through with this is kind of like we have information, but we're not giving the information. That's what I'm getting from that. So action, the fact that it's under action needed, basically what I'm interpreting this as is that we need to provide the information that we have kept, okay? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Now, is this like a secret that you've been keeping that could help somebody or something like that? Maybe secret's not the right word, but it's almost like you're withholding information that really needs to be told to, I don't want to say make things right, but I definitely do feel like there's something that kind of needs to get out. Now, maybe it's because, when I'm saying, look at the card next to it, connecting to a higher self, connecting to your authentic self is really another kind of way to say it. It's a more grounded way to say it. So this could be that you're withholding information about maybe yourself, that you're not allowing yourself to be truly who you are, okay? So there's some type of, let me see if I can, massage this out a little bit. There's some type of information that needs to be put out into the world, that needs to be told, to kind of, yes, could be setting yourselves free from that, from that higher power card, or for some type of benefit or gain of some kind, or some kind of success, okay? Or there's something kind of going on there. That could, take it as you will. It might, again, this is for the collective, so it could look differently for a bunch of you guys, but it definitely, right off the bat, and I usually never get this for the detective, but it definitely does feel like We're withholding information that really needs to be told, to, if we take this quite literally, to solve a case, to solve a problem, to solve an issue, to rectify a problem. Or to move forward, or to, like I said, to find success. So there's something there that might be holding us back, that we really need to kind of get out. And I feel like it might this week, or we might be feeling the urge to this week, or it might naturally happen, etc., etc. So that's very interesting energy that's kind of going on there. So let's move on to issue and challenge. Issue with gratitude. Oh no, I don't love this. Okay, so we have issues finding the good in things, finding the positive in things, feeling grateful. How do I say this? I find myself, how do I say this? Like, it's not necessarily like a quote unquote bad thing, right? I guess I want to say, like, it's okay if we're having an off week, okay? Let's just put it out there, all right? I know I said, oh no, as soon as I flipped the card over, but it's okay to have, an off week. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's under issue. We're having an off week, okay? We're having trouble finding the positives in this week and whatever situations or experiences that we have. It's okay. I'm definitely getting, I usually, again, this is an interesting reading right off the bat. Another thing is, like, mental health is kind of coming up, okay? So this might just be an issue with her mental health. So, spiraling, or, not being able to reframe our thoughts, not being able, again, to see the gratitude in things. And it's okay. Like I said, I definitely want to preface this and say it's okay to have an off week, and it feels like an off week in that way, where you might not be on point spiritually or even mentally at the same time. So it's okay. It's okay. And I feel like that's what Spirit wants us to know. Okay, so we are having issues doing that. If you want to counteract that, if you run a little bit more optimistic like myself, where I'm reading something like this and I'm saying, oh gosh, I think what I was trying to say before is, like, I myself have those issues, right? Even though I'm getting better, I'm still a little salty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very grateful that, I'm healing at all, but I do find myself not necessarily in that vibration all the time. So I'm only human. You're only human. It's okay. But if you run more optimistically, like I do, and that's part of the frustrating part, I think, for myself, is that I really do want to get in that, in that vibration. You could do gratitude practices, which, by the way, is a way to connect spiritually. It's another way to connect spiritually. So, but if you are struggling this week, it's okay. You're not alone. Again, this is for the collective, so it means other people are also struggling. Okay. Okay, challenge. We have Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Okay, so we have an issue staying rooted and grounded. That's interesting, because it's kind of like Spirit is saying, okay, we need to connect more spiritually, but this one you also have a hard time staying on the ground and staying rooted. So it's kind of like you're in this weird kind of place where you feel, I'm definitely feeling like a more disconnected type feeling. Man, I did not think this reading was going to go this direction. So this is interesting right off the bat, as they mentioned. Because the month of June was, again, if you guys haven't seen the monthly, check out the monthly. I didn't see any of these energies necessarily coming through. So we'll get more clues as we go along. Maybe something happens this week. But again, could just be kind of the energies of the week. But it definitely does feel like we are a little disconnected, as I mentioned earlier, from ourselves, from source energy, and we're just kind of like all over the place, right? I don't necessarily feel scattered energy with this card, but it definitely does feel like a disconnect, both from our spiritual selves and our human selves. So like almost like I want to say like a disassociation kind of thing. Just kind of like disassociating. And like I said, we have some issues with mental health going on here, so that could actually be quite literal, but it may be a little bit of like a distraction type energy kind of coming through, but we're having issues focusing, we're having issues seeing the gratitude, having gratitude, we're having issues, I don't think we're gonna have issues with connecting spiritually, because it's in the need. So it's basically Spirit saying, like, you need to do it ASAP, right? It's gonna really help you survive this week. But yeah, so definitely a little disconnected, a little ungrounded type of energy going on here. So let's move on. Change is what is actually going to change here. We have Loyal Heart. Okay, so we have seen this one before many times. I believe this one was in the monthly as well. And so this is really connecting with people that have your back, that are loyal to you, that you can count on, right? And so that's changing. So that's really great. So it definitely feels like our environment is changing. If anybody moved this week or moving this month, this is a really good card for that, because it's telling me like actual physical environment, like geographic environment. So I don't know if anybody moved closer to these type of people, so it's saying like, yes, this is the change. Or if you've moved away from these type of people, and I'm talking about geographic location, you're still going to feel either connected to a new, old, the people that you do feel loyal, or you're going to be making new friends that feel like family, basically. Or somebody's going to, that maybe is an acquaintance or a friend, they're going to feel like getting closer in relationship, or somebody this could also be somebody showing up, or something showing up for you this month that you can really count on. Okay, so someone or something showing up that you can really count on. So basically, to sum that up, your relationships are changing, and who you can count on is changing, and for the better. So guys, after that little hump over here, I don't want to say red flags, but some obstacles, we'll say, we have some good things going on with the people around us. So we need people. We are humans. After all, we need social interaction. We need really good, healthy bonds and connections, and people to be there for us no matter what. So it looks like that is definitely changing for the better. So I have nothing else to say about that. Okay, focus. This came in upside down. This is guide places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. Okay, we also had this one, I think, in the last one. Okay, so but we actually, this one, it came in upside down. So basically this is saying that we are not willing to, okay, so it's saying focus. Okay, so we're not helping people move out of the darkness. We're still keeping ourselves in the darkness. Does that make sense? Because basically it's saying we need to kind of focus on what we can do and help on the outside, how we can guide people on the outside, but you're still too internally focused on you. So basically it's saying it's time to outwardly, honestly, you know what I want to say with this? I want to say distract. I know I think I used that word up there, that we're a little distracted, but this is actually saying that it's good if you're distracted and you're helping other people, right? Actually, if you guys follow my dailies, I do it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I pull a daily card. Basically, there was one about service, right? So it's almost like this. It's kind of saying like, get out of your head and help other people, guide other people, serve other people. Basically, it's trying to say, and it's in the shadow. So it's basically saying that we're not doing that. We're still in our heads, right? Which makes sense, because I did mention, kind of being in our heads up there, with, our mental health issues, a little dissociated, not necessarily ungrounded, not focusing and looking around you and seeing who needs help, right? And so, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I definitely feel a little bit of like a depression type energy kind of coming through here. So it's important that we really do, again, guys, listen to your own intuition, but this is basically saying like, get out of your head and get to helping somebody else, help to guide somebody, especially if it's something that you're going through. It's important that you help somebody else get through it as well. So this is saying like it's a positive distraction. And the way I used it before was like more of the negative side. This is saying that's a positive distraction. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. This is kind of all over the place. This is interesting, but let's keep going. Reflect on your power. Okay, here's a positive thing. So usually a journal prompt comes through with this. But basically it's saying reflect on your power and your inner power. And we have higher power up here, okay? In my opinion, and from a spiritual lens, how we get our source of power is knowing that we're an infinite being co-creating all of the time with the most infinite intelligence that exists, okay? So we're always co-creating with the universe. The universe is me, I am the universe, okay? You are the universe, and vice versa, right? And so that makes you the most powerful being, okay? So basically what Spirit is asking you to do is kind of reflect on that power, really hone in on that power, and really see things for what they really are. This is for who you really are. So this is interesting also because we've gotten a couple of readings about confidence. This one is closer to about connecting more to that confidence, but we're not quite there still, guys. So this is really going to help you find that confidence, because knowing how powerful and amazing you truly, truly are, how you can create your own reality, how you can co-create with the most, again, powerful, I don't even know what the power thing in the universe, being the universe. So you have more power than you think you do, and that's how you get it from, again, my spiritual perspective. There is a more grounded perspective that I agree on, where you've heard me say it before, which is basically, you think about how, your hero's journey, how you went from A to B, and you've gotten, through with resilience and adaptability and flexibility, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, but this is not what this is talking about. This is talking about the power from within, okay? You don't even have to do anything. This is more of your being power, right? Just because. You literally are powerful just because of your being, because of who you are. That's it. Not because of what you've been through, okay? That too, but again, Spirit is asking us to focus on more of the spiritual aspect of this. So hopefully that makes sense. Responsibilities, great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. Well, another spiritual card. Okay, so learning, I think we got this in the romantic connection, maybe not in the monthly, but maybe the last weekly. And so basically this is saying that we have a responsibility to learn from our spiritual experiences. So that makes sense. Like I said, I think it came up in our romantic connection last time, but this is really more broad. And so basically it's saying, as long as you've learned, you've won. So think about that, and it's your responsibility to really understand the lessons that you learned. Also too, from a karmic perspective, make sure you know you've learned them and implemented them, okay? I know this past month, it was definitely the June reading, okay, we're in the first week of June, is about applying our own wisdom. So the best way to show the universe that you've learned your lesson is to actually apply it, okay? So you must apply it, but that's our responsibility this week. Money and finances, observer. Okay, so this is about being on the outside and just observing. So not a very sexy thing I'm going to tell you, but money, finances, and career, not much you can do. That is, like, basically Spirit is saying, like, there's nothing that you can do. Just be the observer. Like, let whatever's going to happen. And there's not really much going on. There's too much other things going on in your personal life right now. And, in that you have to take care of you. Self-development stuff is obviously being clear that you should be number one this week. There's not really much, it's not the week to be the go-getter. It's not the week to be the hustler. It's not the week to, learn how to invest or whatever. Obviously do whatever you need to do, but it just feels like if nothing moves and stays the same with money, finances, and career, you're good, because it's not something that we should be focusing on, is basically what Spirit is saying. It's like, it's not the highlight of the week, right? It's just like observing, right? So it's just kind of like, maybe watch, but like not necessarily do. So it looks like, basically, I want to use this word flatline, like not much is going on. If anybody's looking for a new job, for example, it's kind of like not much is going on. Like not, no new interviews, no new jobs, no new prospects, like anything like that. Not a negative thing. It's just flatlining. It is what it is. It's a slow week in this area, but that's okay, because Spirit is asking us to focus on ourselves. So it's not like, it's like we don't need a distraction necessarily, if that makes sense, with this stuff. So surprise, rebel, okay, in the light. Challenges authority to affect social change, reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Okay, so everybody knows what a rebel is, right? Rebelling, about against authority, but also rebelling against societal norms. And I definitely, it's in the light, so it feels like more so that. So you'd be surprised so it's under surprise, so you would be surprised that I will say this, your thoughts might change about societal norms, or you might have different views on societal norms, or you might do something that's outside of the societal norms. What is an example? And by the way, you probably don't decide something like that in just like a week's time, basically. But again, these kind of all mesh together, but you might, maybe finalize or think about it more this week or something like that. It's society, teaches us that, we need to all get married, have children, and live in a white picket fence. Maybe that's what you thought you've always wanted, and, you kind of are rejecting that societal norm this week, and you are, you're really like diving headfirst into that. If that makes sense, because no surprise, and I already said it a couple of times already, clearly this week is about focusing on us. Okay, getting our mind right, getting our spirituality right, getting our head right, that kind of thing. So obviously we are focusing on ourselves. So if it comes to a conclusion this week that you reject a societal norm, and that's, and that, it is what it is, it might surprise you for sure. But can I say this? And let me see if I can say it. Guys, I'm always like, I'm not quoting correctly because I'm going through a little bit of a minor traumatic brain injury situation. Hard to explain, won't go into too much detail, but it's a little complicated. But let me see if I say this correctly. Sometimes depression, which I already mentioned, a light depression at least, is really about, we're trying to have this facade and fitting in, okay? We're trying to have this, we wear a mask, okay? And we try to fit in as much as we possibly can. We try to live in this world that, guys, I think we all understand the 3D world is not exactly the greatest. It is filled with so many things that are, and I never use the word right or wrong, but that are very plainly wrong, and it is suffering, as you guys know. And to rebel in a society like this where, we are in this world, it is not a crazy thing, right? Because depression really, again, a light depression sometimes is because we're trying to fit in so hard in this world that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and we're supposed to do it while pretending we're not suffering. It's really hard to live here. Earth is really hard, okay? So it's hard to exist, point blank, period, okay? You see why basically Spirit was like, don't worry about your career this week. Just like focus on the hard questions, okay? Focus on getting your stuff right, But basically, it doesn't shock me, that we might come to a conclusion that we need to rebel against something to make ourselves blissful and happy and follow our truest desires, right? So that's really kind of what it feels like. Maybe a surprise, but also I'm not necessarily surprised with how this reading is going. But it's really hard to... It's just really hard to exist in this world. I know you guys know. Okay, friends, guidance. Okay, we have another guide card, okay? So this makes sense here because basically what I was saying with the focus is to focus on helping someone else. Ding, 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 friends, okay? Friends need guidance. So take this focus, pretty easy. So basically Spirit is saying, I'm handing it to you. I'm literally delivering you a friend, acquaintance, somebody near you that needs help with something. If you feel like you're in a dark place or you feel like you're not in the mood or whatever it actually is, trust me, do it. Okay, again, listen to your own intuition. Disclaimer. But Spirit is saying that. Spirit is saying it will be in your best and highest good to help this person out. There's a 4. Okay, the 44 is up here. Another 44. Okay, so we have to be doing these things to setting our foundation, and serving others is part of our purpose. Everybody always says to me, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? I can tell you what your universal purpose is, at least one of them, and that is to help others, to be here, to be of service. That is part of why you're here. That's part of the law of purpose, passion, and purpose. So once you do that, trust me, it'll start getting the ball rolling. I promise. So, because you get into that vibration. So but you also get out of your head from a more grounded perspective. So it's a win-win, okay? So do it. That's all I have to say. Like, I literally feel like, and again, guys, comments, I love reading them. If you even have to come back to this video and tell me, oh my God, my friend that I haven't talked to in a really long time reached out to me and they really needed help finding a job, and they asked me if I knew anybody, and I can't believe about this card. Okay, so let me know if it resonates with you, because it almost feels like this is like I know there's a surprise slot here, but this is definitely like pretty clear as far as what's going on. So interesting stuff. Romantic connection, Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. Okay, we got this one in 2, I think, recently. But and same thing. So yeah, if we got it for the June energy, it makes sense we get it for the first week of June. Do anything that you can to feel loved and comforted. Another inner, last time it was like a little off, but it did kind of allude to more self-care. So do whatever you can do to make yourself feel loved. Not shocked. This whole reading so far is about working on ourselves. So focusing on ourselves. So doesn't shock me there. Important. Come to the edge. Okay, so this is telling me that we're about to jump off the cliff. We're coming to the edge. We're almost there. The 3 and the 6 equals 9, so it does have a vibration of 9 energy with this energy that's coming through. So we're almost ready. Okay, so but it's important that you get yourself ready. That's really what Spirit is saying too. It's like important you get yourself ready. And the fact that we've literally had only really one theme kind of coming through here, at least dominant theme, is we need to get ourselves right. Okay, we need to get ourselves good. Okay, we need to get ourselves whole and complete. We need to get ourselves out of the funk. Okay, we need to get ourselves in a different vibration. It's very important for us to move on. Okay, and we already kind of got that. This is basically saying it's before we build our foundation, before we jump off the cliff, we need to get ourselves spiritually aligned. Okay, so that's what it's saying there. Health and wellness, we have athletes, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and time. Okay, I don't even know why I read these. Sometimes I get like a hit with them, but not always. Again, these are oracle cards. I don't know if I've said this in this video, but yeah, I use dominantly oracle cards. So that means they're not literal, but okay, so athlete to me in a positive is about willpower, it's about strength, it's about going the distance, etc., etc. This is in the shadow. Okay, so this means lack of willpower. This means lack of strength. This means lack of momentum, motivation. Okay, it's okay. I'm, again, not shocked because of these cards up here. We're having a little bit of a rough time. So if you don't feel motivated this week, as far as, again, it's under health and wellness. If we don't feel the momentum this week, right, we have an observer card, which is basically saying, like, we're just looking on the outside, okay? We're not doing anything, okay? So if you don't feel motivated this week in your career, that's fine, okay? So it might feel like a little bit of a, I almost want to say, like, boring week, because it definitely does feel like we're just being, right? And we're taking care of ourselves, and I think some of you guys can interpret it that way. But it definitely does feel like we're not necessarily... we're not running marathons, let's put it that way, okay? We're not the extreme athlete, okay? So it's in the shadow. That is okay. It's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing. It just is. And then overall outcome. Awe, ecstasy. Okay, this makes me feel better. So by the end of the week, that means next weekend, we're going to be to awe and ecstasy, okay? So just get through this week. I feel like I'm going to title the video, Just Get Through This Week, okay? Spirit has given us all the tools in order to get through this week, okay? Because at the end is awe, ecstasy. You can't, like, I think awe and ecstasy is above bliss. I always said bliss was the top, but, well, very similar vibrations, let's put it that way. Pleasure, I think would also be, oh God, I forgot the... Oh my God, guys, I feel like I'm waking up from a coma sometimes. I forgot the scale of emotions, and I'm pretty sure bliss and pleasure are very much neck and neck. But anyway, yeah, pleasure, adventure, awe, ecstasy, wonder, all of those are pretty much in the same vibration. So the fact that it's coming in the last one, it's basically saying like, your overall outcome from this crazy week is this, okay? So apply all of these different energies, work with them. That's why I do these readings. Work with these really tough energies and you will get to the end, okay? You will get to the awe, the ecstasy, the pleasure, okay? So, okay. Guys, you know I never lie to you, but it looks a little rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I know you guys have got this. I know that, first of all, the fact that there's a power card here makes me feel a lot better. The awe, ecstasy makes me feel a lot better. I would say these are the two really awesome cards here. So they're glimmers of hope definitely through this whole spread here. But we've got your friends got your back, your family's got your back. That's the positive thing. It's just we need to focus on our mental health, our spiritual health. Mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, all of those things. We need to focus on ourselves. Okay, so focus. And even under the romantic connection, we have focus on ourselves. Okay, so it's basically saying our career, our money, our finances, our romantic connection. Guys, it's not the week to be focusing on them. They're probably going to be flatline. Just is, not anything like crazy going on or whatever, which is a positive thing. I don't know about you guys. If there's too much going on at one time, forget it. Speaking of gratitude, I'm grateful that this whole last 3 years that I've had a health issue, I haven't also had like a major death or something really crazy going on. I would not have been able to handle it. I would have not been able to handle it. I just wouldn't. I just know it. And I know Spirit gives me only what I can handle. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that sentiment. So with that being said, you can handle it. You guys have got this. And I'll see you for the next reading. Watch the monthly reading too, as well, so you can get an overall better picture of the month. And that's it, guys. Be well. And I'll see you for the next one. All right. Bye, guys.